Welcome to day 16 of the long trail. What? Yes, I'm eating a Pop-Tart and coffee after you just saw me eating oatmeal. It's called second breakfast, okay? Last night, I stayed at the Buchanan shelter, which there really aren't many options in this section. Basically, it was this or go super far to the Puffer shelter, which I've heard is a great shelter, but it was like another 4 point something. And there was no way I was doing that yesterday with how hot it was. So I stopped here. It's about 0.3 off the trail, which is pretty far as shelters go. I mean, a lot of the shelters are right on the trail. And then you might get a 0.2, but 0.3 is usually where it's kind of like that. But like I said, not a lot of options. As far as tenting goes, again, not a lot of options. There's only one tent site by this shelter, and it was already taken. So I slept in the shelter. No one else showed up, so I was by myself. There is a mouse problem here. I mean, all shelters probably have mice, but this one is a little bit worse than some of the other ones that I've stayed in so far. The ones I've stayed in, like actually slept in, haven't been bad. Like I haven't like seen any mice or really. Last night I was woken up at 1 a.m. And there was like a mouse like running back and forth between the rafters, like building his nest out of dried leaves. So it sounded like someone was just constantly like just like moving, rustling dry leaves around. It was very annoying. Kept me awake for a while. I eventually fell asleep. I'd wake up to it again. And then at like 5 a.m. this morning, I awoke abruptly when I felt something crawling at the back of my neck. Again, the mouse. He scurried right off, but not the best. I mean, overall, it's a pretty nice shelter, but dealing with mice is a pain. So today I am climbing and approaching Mansfield. I will either be staying at the Butler Lodge or the Taft Lodge, both of which are on Mansfield. The Butler Lodge is before you get to the summit. The Taft Lodge is just after the summit. So I may or may not be summiting Mansfield today, which is the highest point in Vermont and therefore highest point on the long trail. Mansfield is named such because the side profile of the mountain looks like an elongated man's face. So the peak, as well as all its sub-peaks, have like names that would go with that. You've got the chin, the forehead, the Adam's apple, etc. The chin is the official peak. But yeah, there's a whole kind of ridge that you'll traverse. So we'll see where I end up today. There does look like there might be some weather moving in. Chance of rain showers starting at 11. So that may have some factor on it. If the weather was clear, I would definitely stay at Butler Lodge because I've heard the sunset views there are phenomenal. But I'm not sure that I'll get a sunset view, so it might be better to push to Taft Lodge and already be that much further. But tomorrow morning, it looks like it's just going to be cloudy in the morning, and then won't be rain until the afternoon. So I should be good there. But yeah, we'll just like kind of see how it ends up. If I go to Butler, it will be like 11 and a half miles. And then if I go to Taft, it will be like another 3.3 after that. So that's what I'm going with today. I've got a big climb right off the bat up Bolton and Mount Mayo. Or Mayo, I don't know how you say it, but that's what I'm starting off with. At first, I have to climb up the spur trail here, which was quite a bit downhill, which is another drawback of this shelter. Not only is it far, but it's downhill, so you got to climb back out. But yeah, day 16. Let's do it. Okay, I am back on the LT. I did the 0.3 mile spur. It's a 200-foot climb up out of there from the shelter. And now I will start climbing Bolton Mountain, which is like 3,600 feet. And I think I'm like around 2,400, somewhere in that range. So I got some climbing to do. It's not going to be super steep right off, but it is going to pick up eventually here. So let's get after that. There's Mansfield. Bolton Mountain, and with a summit sign. How surprising. No views on this one. So I had lunch at the Taylor Lodge and refilled my water and all that good stuff. Although there was rain showers in the forecast this afternoon, pretty much all afternoon, right now I don't see any clouds that look remotely like they could have rain in them. So I think I'm in the clear for the afternoon, and I don't know, maybe it's going to move in this evening. I'm going to check a updated weather forecast soon. But if it's looking good, I'm probably just going to stay at Butler Lodge because, like I said, I've heard good things about the sunset there, and I would like to see that. It'll make for, you know, like an 11-mile day, which is short compared to what I've been doing, but still a solid day and get into camp at a good time. If not, I'll keep pushing, and I should still be able to get to the Taft Lodge, you know, before it's too late. But I think I'd rather stay at Butler. We'll see what happens. It's still just brutally hot today. I don't know, maybe it's cooled off a little bit, but it doesn't really feel like it. So it's rough. It's rough going uphill. But just gonna keep on pushing. I am less than half a mile from Butler Lodge. And I have to sit down again. The humidity is even higher than it was yesterday. I checked. 76% humidity. Which makes every step, every breath going uphill just so intense. It's like such a foreign concept to me, just struggle this much going up. Normally I just absolutely crush the uphills, but just wears you down, and like I'm just constantly like looking for the next spot to take a break. I'm at full capacity on water. I filled up both bottles and my water bladder on my filter because it said the water source at Butler Lodge is unreliable, which means during this drought we're having, it's probably completely dried up. So I wasn't taking a chance on it. I decided to max out my water capacity and carry it up the 1.4 miles from the tenting area, Twin Brooks tent site. But I'll be to the shelter shortly. I'm not going to push any further. It's just not worth it. I want to be able to enjoy the summit of Mansfield when I'm up there. And I'm not sure. I keep thinking it's going to cool down. I'm like, oh, surely the next day it's going to be cooler, but it hasn't gotten any cooler. But maybe it will be cooler tomorrow. We'll see. All right. I'll see you at Butler Lodge. Yes. Here we go. I made it, guys. Butler Lodge is just down the trail. I'm going to do my outro right here. Thank you for watching day 16. It was a very tough 11 miles. About 3,500 feet of elevation gain, so quite a bit of climbing, and the humidity just, once again, has been taking its toll. But I'm going to go to camp. I'm going to get set up. I'm going to relax, and maybe, if we're lucky, we'll get a sunset. If so, there'll be a sunset. Maybe you'll see some little tour of the shelter. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay inspired, stay creative, and I will see you on day 17. Mount Mansfield. Let's do it. All right. Good night.